Today, we are going to be talking about what the heck is going on and shifting into the paradigm of power, or the power paradigm is how it came through yesterday. So let me just invite a few friends and then we will get started in this dance party. So what's been going on, how you can recognize what's happening inside your own life and master the shift that is coming through from all of you. So I'm going to share a few things of how we can kind of get caught up and intertwined with this shift and this expansion that's happening for us and really just move through in a way that's empowered. Yeah. So the first thing that came through to share with you guys, hi Alexa, glad you're here. Hey Charlene. Hey Mike, nice to see you. Hey Twiggy. So the first thing that came through to share is that life is for you. Life is for all of us. And at times it'll seem like it's freaking chaotic. Things are falling apart. Relationships are ending. Our bodies are doing all kinds of crazy things. And like, how can it seem like life is for us? And the way that I put it into perspective, first, let me back up a minute. When I'm talking about moving into the power paradigm, I know power is a trigger word for some people. And here's the deal. You know, if you want to evolve in this life, you've got to own your power. And no, here's the thing. It's not even about owning your power. It's about remembering your power. So for so long, we've been numbed out. We've been brainwashed. We've like forgotten who we are. We've handed our power over to other people as authorities. And really what's happening is that it's about remembering your power. And so what does it mean to be in your power? Well, it means that I'm looking outside and there is a cloud outside with a heart in the middle of it, like the blue, like the white cloud, and then there's a heart in the middle of it. And if you guys watch me, I'm always seeing hearts. So when we're remembering our power, we're really tuned into our intuition, our innate knowledge, our gifts, our extra senses. And then as we start to move through that life of owning what's within ourselves already and remembering, we start to see the reflection outside of the world. We start to feel in flow. We're moving along and synchronicities are happening. And, things just start to come into place. People are nicer. Your creativity starts to come in through. You have more self-trust. You feel more confident. And all of this happens from a space within ourselves, and then the outer manifestation happens. And so a lot of what we've been doing for too long, or taught to do, is that we need to fix the outside thing first, and then we'll feel better. And what I'm sharing with you today is as we're moving through into this power paradigm, it's going to come from within. And we, as an emotional universe, we have to be addressing the emotions and energy and feelings that are stirring up and coming from within. Now, backing up, life is for you. Want you to put this in perspective that, the other piece about the power paradigm is knowing that you are 100% responsible. You are the co-creator of your experience, again, coming from within. And so think of it this way, is that you are the director of your play. You are the director, my friend Karina could probably tell me all of the parts of the play, the director, you are an actor, but you have actors that also come into your life. Now, what happens is that sometimes these actors come into our lives and they stir things up that don't feel good, and we push away or we resist what is being presented to us. And so what I want to share with you is I had an experience and so if you start to pay attention, so when you're in your power, you realize that what is happening is for you. And if it's feeling uncomfortable, there's something within you that is not aligned with the truth of who you are, right? We are infinite beings. We have, power, gifts, talent, senses beyond what we've tapped into. Many that are on this live have. But we're even going deeper into that. That is one of the things, I'm going to share 3 things today. That is one of the things that you want to pay attention to, is that as life is coming to you, Are you avoiding or resisting? Resistance is the biggest thing that I see happening, because it can feel, it can feel like it gets to a point where we might even start to discover, you might start to discover things about yourself and then actually dislike them. You might see, oh man, I've been acting this way, and you might want to dislike it, but this is where you want to love and embrace it, right? This is all about radical self-love. As we're moving through these shifts, you really have to love yourself. So the first thing is like, as it's coming, release resistance, be open to the messages, be open to the experience and what it is that it's reflecting back for you in order for you to grow and remember more of your power. Now, the thing is that with this power paradigm that we're shifting into, or remembering or opening up to, let's just not get too tied up in language. The energy of being a victim, the victim vibration is also dissolving. You can see it on a global level, right? All of the stuff coming up around the victims, and then the power shifting that's happening on an internal level as well. And so as you're moving in and claiming more for yourself in this life, and wanting to have a greater experience or be a fuller expression through your art or your love, or wanting to attract more abundance, and right, so there's a greater call that you're putting out there. Anything that's not like it will rise to the surface, okay? And that's where the resistance comes up. That's where we want to take a really honest look about what's going on. So the second piece to that is that as this, what's going on with my hair? I should have just put a ponytail in. So as you're remembering more of your power, anything that's not like it is going to come to the surface. So one thing might be resistance. The second piece is to dive in, and then you want to dissect, and you want to look at your past, your trauma, the things that happened to you, what needs to be resolved there. And that's that's a second way that you can get stuck in moving through to into this power paradigm. So, and then the third way that you can get stuck is as these shifts are happening, these energetic shifts, these emotional shifts, these spiritual shifts, our bodies are also shifting. So our bodies hold the energetic vibration of the beliefs, of the traumas, of the experiences that haven't yet been resolved. And so what happens is that as we're expanding collectively into a stronger, higher vibration, if you think of it this way, think about the way the technology has advanced. The fact that I am sitting here on my computer talking to people all over the world, and 15 years ago when I started this, I can only do stuff in a room, or I had to get a videographer, and then I don't even, so technology advanced, and so has our consciousness, so has our human experience. And so our bodies are shifting, becoming more integrated with our energy. Our physical body is going to start to shift. And what can happen is that, and this is not medical advice, if you're feeling like you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. But your body is going to start shifting too. Try not to get too caught up on what is happening with your body. What I see happening is that when we're moving into more of our empowered space, which means we are more free, we're more free thinkers, we're more creative, and those that even I'm working with, is that in your work you're having a ripple effect on those that the lives that you're touching. What happens is that some of this stuff can become a distraction. It could feel very real. It could feel like you really need to dive into this trauma. It could feel like you really need to take a look at what's going on in your body. Or you can be so resistant to seeing what's going on that you're actually even resisting more of what wants to come through. That can become a distraction. So what do you do? How the heck do you keep going forward when everything feels chaotic and it feels like things are falling apart? Keep focused straight ahead. Last night, an acronym came through. It's FOWL, F-O-W-L, right? Yeah. And I actually want to, so fowl like the bird. So the first thing that you want to do when you're moving through, when life is presenting you with something, when your players in your play are reflecting back to you some situation that doesn't feel so great, know that there's some kind of misalignment, and to move through, follow. So the first thing is feel. Feel. Because, you know, what happens is we get too caught up in our mind, and this is where another way that we get stuck. You want to feel. What are you feeling in your body? What is this interaction with this other person having me feel? Because what happened, like I said earlier, is that the energy in your body that's holding in the victim mentality, the lack, the fear, that's going to want to rise to the surface. It gets uncomfortable for the body. It gets uncomfortable for the ego. It gets uncomfortable for the smallness. So that's when we go to our head and we want to just like dissect it. It is about finding a balance. So if you can get into feel and just be available to the sensations in your body, that's going to support you in moving through. The second piece, observe. Right? So you just want to observe what's going on. You don't want to make a meaning about it. Oh, this is like, oh, this must be from, you know, the abuse I had, or this is like, you know, my exes, or, you know, this is like my mother's stuff. You know, some of that does help, right? As an intuitive, I mean, that's what I do, is I can read what's going on in someone's body. That helps on the level of the knowing, helps on the level of helping the intellect shift, but you don't want to get caught up there. So if you can drop into observing and just say, okay, this is what's happening right now. My body is freaking intelligent and knows what it's doing. The third thing, witness. Just witness. Witness in the sense of, you know, it sounds like it's similar to observe, but release it, because when we start to see these things about ourselves and start to have these feelings, we want to kind of stuff them down. So just witness. And the last thing is love. And this whole little acronym here to help you move forward as you're shifting into the power paradigm is love, self-love, radical self-love, because you may see parts of yourself that you know, it's embarrassing, or it's shameful, or it's, you know, don't feel good, or you don't want to know that that's how you've been behaving or showing up. And so love yourself. So no matter what rises, no matter, you know, if you start to realize that you've been behaving in a certain way inside of a relationship that was less than loving or ethical or in integrity, or, you know, you love yourself. Right? Because what's happening is there's these parts of ourselves that have held these behaviors and patterns and cycles in place, right? There's a part of us that you've held on to being the victim, and that part needs love too. So let me just share this piece with you, and then I'll wrap it up, and I'll answer any questions before I'm jumping on a call soon with a badass client that I had. Now, to back up all of this is like, you know, as we're shifting, growing, and expanding, the beliefs. So what's not a match to what it is that we're trying to accomplish, experience, what's not a match is going to come to the surface, and those would likely be attached to beliefs. Now, it doesn't matter where it came from. It's just the matter of, now I have this awareness. And that's the thing, guys, is we're not meant to be doing this alone. I mean, this is why I do the work that I do, is to help liberate you from the things that you can't see for yourself. And so I recognize, and that's the thing, is that we can't see the back of our head, and that's why we need other people too. And so know this, for that as you're shifting, the people around you are going to shift, and you're going to have this container to pull more of the players in your life that are in resonance with your vibration, and experiences that are aligned with what it is that you truly desire. You know, and I'll leave this with this last little line that's coming through, is that, you know, how great can you allow it to be? How great can you allow it to be? You know, in the work that I'm doing with my clients, a lot of the focus is about their power, their brilliance, their amazingness. What is it that they want to experience, and what will naturally rise to the surface, that anything is unlike that. In the past, what we were doing is trying to dive in and dig deep and, you know, find the problem and resolve the problem. Where you're going to, one, find the most growth and the most challenge is owning who you are, remembering your power, claiming the greatness that you desire, not settling for anything less. And what will naturally rise to the surface as anything that is unlike it. And so rather than staying in situations where you're trying to see the potential, or where you're trying to resolve, or you're trying to have somebody catch up to you, or, you know, you're so focused on what is, you've got to go in and make the adjustments within, because then the outer experience shifts. And so if any of this has resonated with you and you're so ready to move beyond what you're experiencing right now, message me. Let's do some work together. I have a program that's coming through. Is right now it's called the Way of the Empowered Empath, and that's going to be for empath sensitives, you know, healers, you know, those that are, you know, lives are, you know, touching others, their work is rippling out. Because what's happening with the empaths and the sensitives is we came into this world with a belief that we've got to take on everybody's stuff, and that is done. It's complete, it's over. And now what's really important is for you to be owning, remembering, owning your gifts, owning your talents, owning your art, owning your voice, and being that expression so that others can grow from. And then to be really tapped in and using your extra senses and using your power in a way that's positive, instead of getting stuck in these little circles inside of like a family or a relationship or money. That's another thing. And when you truly know how and remember how powerful you are, you realize that you are the co-creator. And so when things are happening, little adjustments. And in my work, I help you understand how you can do that, not only from the intellectual level, but from the emotional, the energetic level, and then how to manage the emotions that pop up that we can kind of get too stuck in. All right, that's all I had to share. Really, like, how great can you allow it to be? So it's not always like the bad things that are coming up, but it's like, wow, more greatness wants to come through you. And so as these things are coming up, you want to take an honest look. And what do I believe about this? What belief do I have that is manifesting this experience? Okay, and then taking a look, okay, I'm having this experience. What is it that I really want to experience? And what is the mismatch between the two? So once you figure out on an intellectual level, you're with it, right? You're like, okay, here's the mismatch. You also have the energy inside of yourself that had been holding that into place. So you do want to do the healing and the energy work on the physical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional levels. Let me know. Thanks for showing up, you guys. Keep tuned in. The Way of the Empowered Empath is kind of comes. I would have shared it more with you today, but I still don't even have the whole page ready, but the program is here. So you guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Keep trucking on. Know that life is for you. What's coming to you is supporting you into moving into the power paradigm. The victim mentality is dissolving. Some of this is super hard to look at on your own. I'd love to support you in it. And carry on.